an old woman, the once young feminist sits in her rocking chair. How do we create sacred space when our lives have been turned upside down? Rising from this question is an aching, haunting inquiry. To what am I devoted? Dreams, demystifying and decolonizing take us to the threshold. What dreams have grown in this fertile, sacred space-time, where old dreams and demystifying, searching for deeper truth occur? When feeling alone, fearful, and isolated, peeling away illusions and acknowledging the power of systemic isms risks retreat and abandoning the future. With strong community, with virtual companions, inner devotion carries us over the threshold to a new future with a fresh, realistic, and visionary gaze. This year, the Canadian Unitarian Universalist Women's Association offered monthly Zoom book conversation and a Zoom Cakes for the Queen of Heaven exploration. We are creating many strong communities with virtual companions. Decolonizing can feel daunting. Privilege isn't scary when we retell the story, though. When decolonization is framed as, what will be lost and what do I have to give up, fear is activated. Fear puts devotion in bondage. The fear part of the brain knows, freeze, flee, or fight. Fear turns our principles into platitudes instead of plans for action. None of these responses are particularly useful devotional practices. When we begin decolonizing our mind, our dreams, and our visions of the future, the threshold opens to devoting our lives as practices creating sacred space for everyone. For some, the end of the pandemic is when we go back to life as we knew it. The early pandemic solution, stay home and do nothing, opened options like rocking chair activism when outrageous injustices occurred. Just as easily, rocking chair activists opened Zoom for meditation groups, sharing circles, and celebrations. Sorry, we don't have all the answers yet. We're still learning to defrag the colonized mind and do deferred learning. We continue gathering diverse, intersectional, creative virtual communities that are committed to dreaming, demystifying, decolonizing, and devoting. Sacred space holds and sustains us on a journey. It includes some not yet knowing. This pandemic time has offered us novel and unexpected tools. It turns out that dream of the rocking chair gathering space of the feminist retirement home is a virtual Zoom room. Friends of decades are meeting by Zoom every month, remembering, reclaiming, and reframing the dreams. And it turns out that young feminists actually believed we would end a lot of sexism, racism, heterosexism, but didn't believe we would grow old. And yet, here we are, years later, once again pulling our rocking chairs into a circle on Zoom. Who could imagine how the pandemic would reveal the online community of multi-generational, intersectional, bold, and profound activists? Dreams we couldn't even imagine are being realized in our midst. Devotion could mean deep listening to stories of demystifying, debunking, and decolonizing work available online for study and consideration. Devotion can mean donating to younger feminist activists, artists, and dreamers. Rocking chair activism can include marches online, donation online, learning, encouraging, stargazing, strategizing, meditating, and celebrating in new ways. There are many ways to be devoted. As we draw our chairs into the circle of Zoom rooms, may we remember all of our foremothers, who, like Nell Morton, gave us gifts that work as well for Zoom as it did when we could sit on the floor in a circle. Listen. Listen to each woman, each person experiencing oppression, and each person who is aching to live into dignity and recognize the worth, call forth dreams, and encourage learning and changing and creating. Please take advantage of this International Women's Day to pause and reflect on what this year has meant to you. Congratulate yourself for the ways you have met many challenges, the ways you have helped others, and gratitude for those who have helped you. Not everyone is called to be an activist. If you are exhausted and struggling, grieving and alone, please reach out for support. Devotion may be inviting you to renewed commitment to your well-being and finding support you need. Devotion may be inviting you to a season of stillness, pondering, and feeling held by the rocking chair. While many dreams dimmed, the power of hearing one another to speech is just as powerful today. Friends that stick with us to the end of the world and back, formed in listening circles and rocking chairs, endure.